Good Friday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it to the end of another week. Hope you guys have had a great one. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Friday. We have the truth of the day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, he being part of my conversation with Charles R. Smith Jr. and Adele Rodriguez about their new book, Song for Jimmy, about the legendary Jimi Hendrix. Enjoy today's program. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Friday headlines. In national news, families struggle with how to hold second pandemic Thanksgiving. The Associated Press says as families gathered together for Thanksgiving, they were also facing gatherings that have become burdened with political and coronavirus debates consuming other arenas. As they gathered for turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, and pie, they were confronted with a list of questions. Can they once again hold big get-togethers? Can they gather at all? Should they invite unvaccinated family members? Should they demand a negative test before a guest is allowed at the dinner table or a spot on the sofa for an afternoon of football? The desire to bring family and friends back together for Thanksgiving was evident on Wednesday in San Francisco, with a line at one grocery store stretched out the door and around the corner. In more national news, Ahmaud Arbery's mom says she's thankful for justice and son's legacy. Ahmaud Arbery's mother woke up Thursday with a new, very important blessing on Thanksgiving Day. But there will still be an empty chair at the family celebrations. It is a reminder that while she feels justice was served, when the three men who shot her son were convicted Wednesday for cornering and killing him as he ran through a coastal Georgia neighborhood, she will never be made whole again because her son is gone. This is the second Thanksgiving we've had without Ahmaud, but at the same time, I'm thankful. This is the first Thanksgiving we are saying we got justice for Ahmaud. Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, told the Associated Press in an interview on Thursday. The three men who chased and killed Arbery in Brunswick in February 2020 were all convicted of murder on Wednesday. They cornered Arbery after finding out he had been seen on surveillance camera at a nearby house under construction and wanted to question him about recent burglaries in the area. The men face life in prison when they are sentenced later, and a federal hate crimes trial for them is scheduled for next year. In more national news, polyp in Biden's colon was benign, potentially precancerous. The polyp removed from Joe Biden's colon last week was benign, slow-growing, but potentially precancerous lesion that required no further action, his doctor said in a follow-up memo. The specimen was similar to one removed from Biden in 2008. A physician to the president wrote in a memo released Wednesday by the White House. The Mayo Clinic defines a colon polyp as a small clump of cells that forms on the lining of the colon. Most colon polyps are harmless, according to Mayo's website, but some colon polyps can develop into colon cancer over time. The best prevention for colon cancer is regular screening for and removal of polyps, the clinic advises. Biden, who turned 79 last week and is the nation's oldest president, remains healthy and vigorous and fit for duty, the physician said in his initial report after Biden's first routine physical in office. The president is showing some signs of aging, the doctor did note. In business news, global stocks mix after Fed says ready to act on inflation. Global stock markets mostly rose Thursday after Federal Reserve officials indicated they were ready to hike interest rates sooner than expected if needed to cool U.S. inflation. London, Tokyo, and Hong Kong markets advanced while Shanghai declined. Wall Street futures were higher. U.S. markets were closed for the Thanksgiving holiday. They reopened today for a shortened trading session. Fed officials at their October policy meeting said they would not hesitate to respond to inflation. According to notes released on Wednesday, they foresaw the possibility of raising rates sooner than participants currently anticipated. That fueled investor fears the Fed and other central banks might feel pressure to withdraw economic stimulus that has been boosting stock prices. Fed officials earlier indicated they might raise rates late next year. And finally, in entertainment news, Afghan girl from famous cover portrait is evacuated to Italy. National Geographic magazine's famed green-eyed Afghan girl has arrived in Italy as part of the West's evacuation of Afghans following the Taliban takeover of the country, the Italian government said on Thursday. The Office of Premier said Italy organized the evacuation after she asked to be helped to leave the country. The Italian government will now help to get her integrated into life in Italy, the statement said. She gained international fame in 1984 as an Afghan refugee girl after war photographer Steve McCurry's photo of her, with piercing green eyes, was published on the cover of National Geographic. McCrory found her again in 2002. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's our time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Go with the flow of life. Release your attachment to the outcome of any stressful situation. Allow yourself to focus on the now moment as you go with the flow of life. Anxiety can cause you to tense up and resist the flow of life. You can relax as you inhale and exhale, utilizing deep breathing techniques. This will help you learn how to use your energy as you allow the universe and God to work through you. Nervous energy can be the result of stress and work obligations. You can choose to focus on the task at hand rather than the outcome. Release your anxious hold and stop fighting against the current of life. Today, release your anxious hold on anything. Stop fighting against the current and have more energy for today. As you always, enjoy the day.
We are part of my conversation coming up with Charles R. Smith Jr. and Adele Rodriguez in today's Entertainment Spotlight. You're listening to Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Charles R. Smith Jr. and Adele Rodriguez joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about their new book, Song for Jimmy, the story of guitar legend Jimi Hendrix. Here's a bit of our conversation.
Charles, I want to start with you. As I said, people know the name Jimi Hendrix, but I don't think they've ever seen his story being brought to life this way. What has it been like for you to have this gift to be able to share with the rest of us?
Oh, it's awesome. Jimmy is such a prolific icon. It was very interesting to learn how he got there and seeing the pain that he went through, all of the commitment that he put and effort that he put into learning this guitar, and some of the things that he went through in his life to become the musician that he ultimately became.
And Adele, for you, to be able to bring to light the story, of course, I was able to get an advanced reader's copy, and the artwork is just amazing. What was it like for you to be able to bring your own personality to this story when it comes to bringing it to life in pictures?
Well, I think when I first sort of found Jimmy's music, I was in high school and then later in college. And when I was making my paintings, studying in college, I would listen to his music while I worked. So and at that time, it influenced my work, my personal work. But here, I also had the opportunity to make work while listening to his music, and to make work about him. And it was a wonderful responsibility to be able to translate his life onto paper and into this book.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We provide you guys on Mondays more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.